gets the wireless mic. I'm going to sit in the back here and make noises with this one.
Check 1, 2. Thank you, Paul. Does everybody hear me okay? In the back? Yeah? Good deal. Like I said earlier, this is my little speech, if you want to call it that. The keynote address is certainly not going to run into an hour as it was allocated. It's been a very long day for everybody, and it's hard to get people kind of re-engaged after a long day of going to training classes, networking with contractors. And so I promise not to bore you with repeated stuff that you already heard earlier today. But some of the things that I would hope that I talk about will plant a seed with not only the new people that are in the industry, but more importantly to some of our leaders that are in the audience here. You know, a couple weeks ago, or not actually a couple weeks ago, several months ago, when Paul approached me to deliver the keynote address, my first reaction was, you know, why not? Would jump at the opportunity. And when I was on the phone with him, I was kind of asking him, you know, certain questions about, well, what do I say? What do I talk about to colleagues in the industry that have known me for as long as 18 years? What can I bring to them that they don't already know? Do I inspire them? Do I tell them my story? And there was a silence on the other line with Paul, and he said, you know, Lois, you bring up a very good point. Just be yourself. And I kind of laughed. I said, geez, thanks, Paul. Be myself. I don't know if we want to go there, but so after I hung up with the phone with him, I really wrestled with this topic, that at the end of the day, it all boils down to you as a business owner, as a person, and as someone in the pressure washing industry. I Googled keynote. I already know what keynote addresses are supposed to do. They're supposed to inspire. They're supposed to motivate. They're supposed to provide encouragement, or for a few minutes kind of expose or welcome you into my life of my story. You know, because one of the things that Paul mentioned to me is, well, tell them about EBC, Enviro Cleaner, my soap line. And my immediate reaction to Paul was, I hate talking about my soap, and I do. I really do. I not hate in a bad sense, but it's soap. What can I say in an hour's time about soap that's going to inspire Chet, who I've known this man for many years? And Paul's like, no, I don't mean talking about dwell times or, you know, X-jetting or downstreaming or mixed ratios or whatever. Your story, because it's, according to him, it's an inspiration. And I was kind of paused on the phone with him, and I said, well, do you really think that? And he said, absolutely. And I've never really told my story in a public forum. And, you know, again, as I got off the phone with him and weeks passed and this event was on my calendar, and I wrestled with this because at the same time, and this is really for some of the veterans in the industry, some weird things happened on a national stage with the pressure washing industry that really came at us from left field. And I said to myself, well, Do I talk about myself? Do I talk about the current events that are supposedly going on in the industry? And it really tied back into the theme of, at the end of the day, it all boils down to you as a business owner. My story is pretty straightforward. And 6 years ago, I came up with a snazzy idea to launch a soap line in the pressure washing industry, and I was just one guy. And I gathered all my resources, the chem plans, the chemistry behind it, et cetera, and launched EBC. And I was just a little dot on the map. My hope at that time was, hopefully I'll get a few distributors in the United States to agree to carry it, and hopefully have a shot at being part of the pressure washing industry as it relates from a manufacturer standpoint. And when I announced my thoughts and my plan to certain individuals in the industry that I confided in on my idea, some of the responses weren't what I wanted to hear. It'll never go anywhere. Why would you do such a thing? There's plenty of other soaps already on the market. It's gonna fail, Carlos. You don't have enough horsepower to get it done. And I took that feedback, criticism at heart. And there was a point prior to me launching EBC that I contemplated whether or not to even bring it to the market, because I valued, or I took in the opinions of others to influence my decision. But at the end of the day, it all boiled down to me to decide what I wanted to do. And I held my breath, launched the EBC grenade, and threw it out there in the industry. Six years later, I look back and I say to myself, if I would have listened to some of the people that discouraged me from launching EBC, there would be no soap line. And today we are, I think most of you know the path or the journey that I have taken on in regards to EBC, where we have over 200 distributors worldwide, 6 or 7 countries. And it's a good soap. Now, why do I tell you this? I'm the most humblest guy around, I really am. I don't like to get in front of people and kind of stroke, that journey. And why am I saying this? It ties into you as a business owner. You as an individual that is struggling right now to get that phone to ring. You as that individual that is putting everything into marketing. You as that individual that don't even have any equipment yet. And you came here with the idea or the hope to start a pressure washing company. I'm a regular guy. I started off with a cold water Home Depot unit, borrowed ladders from my neighbor, beat up Volvo. I would literally pick up that little cold unit up, throw it in the trunk of the car, bind it, rope it down so the trunk doesn't fly up and down, throw the ladders on the Volvo, homemade flyers for my Epson 360 printer and Commodore computer 18 years ago, where the fonts and everything were all out of jack. And that was the start of New Look Power Wash. And my message today, and we're not even into it yet, I'm just kind of giving you a prelude into it, is that, number one, at the end of the day, no matter of all the static that is surrounding you in regards to your business, your next service, your next idea, don't let anybody, whether it be close friends or distant friends or colleagues in the industry, to tell you that you can't do it. Our industry right now is in a very peculiar place. And I've had many discussions with colleagues in the industry that have reached out to me to kind of figure out what all this means. And as a keynote address, like I said earlier, there's always that inspiration moment, or there's always that enthusiasm, or there's always that hope. And I'm not here to deliver that message. I'm here to deliver a message that our industry, from a national standpoint, from a global stage, needs help. It doesn't necessarily affect you as an individual business owner to make that phone ring. I'm talking more along the lines of policies, trainings, establishments, get-togethers, associations, the list goes on and on. And I'm not going to sugarcoat anything today in regards to the national front. You younger business owners probably don't have a clue what I'm talking about, and I'm not going to bore you with any of the side-by-side, blow-by-blow things that have happened in our industry recently. But I think some of the veterans will agree with me that our industry needs help right now. And I see the nods going on right now in the audience. And the platform that we have here in Tampa, the Spray Wash Academy, Mr. Burke, obviously Paul Cassander, who has been doing this for many, many years. We have contractors here looking around and asking questions and trying to figure out where they fit in with the industry on a national front. And they're kind of out here on this cloud waiting for direction. What's the next step? Or what's going on with the damage control? And as someone that started an organization 9 years ago, I ask those same questions. And I look within the pressure washing industry, the leaders of tomorrow, not today, tomorrow. My ship has sailed. There's several veterans here that were with me from day one. Where is that gentleman at? There's Timmy. A gentleman like Tim Fields, who 9 years ago embarked on a journey with me. He's throwing up his and many, many other contractors. And I don't want to paint a bad picture. It's not the purpose of this, but it's the reality is that we as an industry, if we do not get our act together, we are heading down an unknown road. And I didn't want to use the Tampa event as a platform to express or expose this. But as I mentioned when I first came up here, that the message that I wanted to bring to all the Tampa attendees was one of hope, one of encouragement, one of testimony. And unfortunately, that's not the case today. And as the founder of an org 9 years ago, I sit back and I see the things that have gone on in our industry. And again, I apologize to the newer people, to the newer companies that have absolutely zero knowledge of what I'm talking about. But I wanted to at least express this to those that are in a position of authority, of influence, that hope is not lost. And as I was 9 years ago, that opportunity hopefully will manifest itself and surface again in our industry, where a true representation of the pressure washing contractor, not the vendor, not the manufacturer, but the guy that is out there walking the gutter lines, the company that is out there in the dumpster pads at 2, 3 in the morning, the guy that is running accounts from state to state to put food on their table, to keep the lights on, to pay the bills. Hard-working Americans. Hopefully someday, in a very near future, there will be a group of people that embraces that vision that I had 9 years ago, and take it and run with it. That's my hope, that's my prayer, and I leave it at that in regards to going back in history and talking about the industry or the state of affairs of the industry today. As I piggyback on that topic, it ties into the keynote theme as relates to, at the end of the day, it all comes down to you. You as a business owner can gather all the data, all the information, all the advice from multiple sources, literally for free, as it relates to a pending decision that you have to make. Whether you go from kitchen exhaust cleaning to pressure washing, or you expand your service area, or you bring on additional crews, equipment purchases, the whole 9 yards. But at the end of the day, that decision lies solely on your shoulders. When you got into the industry, if you were like me 18 years ago, I got tired of the 9 to 5 grind, of working for someone and making them money. And I worked at a 6x8 cubicle where I didn't have any interaction with anybody for 4 hours. I was allowed a 15-minute break to go into the lunchroom, to zap some food that was in the fridge for 3 or 4 days, heat it up, say hi to Joe as he's walking by looking like a zombie, and then go back to my cubicle, work, punch out, mad dash home, stuck in traffic, get home at 7, say hi to the wife, hello to the kids, go to bed, and redo that 5 days a week. And your paycheck remained the same. You gotta ask yourself, what's your dream? If you limit yourself to just what you're doing now, that next level or that next level of success is not going to be obtainable. And it's not because if it's anyone's fault, it's because you're limiting yourself to the moment. If I were to limit myself to the moment of EBC, I would still be just a kind of a domestic distributor or manufacturer where I sell a little bit of soap. But it was an everyday grind for me to get to the point where I'm at. And I had this vision where I looked at this goal that I had, whether it be financial or the amount of distributors. But 6 years ago, I said to myself, I wonder what it's like to be at this level. We've all dreamt that, right? We see people doing things in life that we always, it's kind of a healthy envy type of feeling where, God, I wish I could get there. How do I do that, right? And let me tell you, I had the same thing. But the weird part about that journey is once you reach that level, the view is no different. And then when you reach that plateau, you look up and there's another mountain in front of you. And it's a constant build. And 95% of the time, you walk that journey alone. The internet attaboys, the little likes that we get on before and after pictures, I do it. How come I didn't get 50 likes on this? What's wrong with me? Right? Who counts for likes? Or we scroll through to see who liked it. And if someone didn't like it, you know, well, what's his problem? Right? So the internet, especially Facebook, has become this dynamo of kind of like trial and jury. We base our, I won't say our days, but we kind of look at what the guy that is clear across the United States is doing or not saying about our pictures, and it affects our day. You've never met this person. Hackman 99 or whatever his name is. Right? Oh, he blocked me, Chet. He did? Right? So we get into that mode of, what am I doing wrong? Then the private messages start. Hey Mike, do you know Hackman 99 out of Delaware or whatever? Yo, Los, what's up? Yeah, it's a good guy. He didn't like my picture, man. Do you know what's going on? So it's that kind of dynamo that we've created in the industry where we base our business approach on social media. Instead of being out there on the jobs, grinding away and producing for our customers. How many people here are friends on Facebook with their customers? Right. Those are the people that you need to be impressing. And I fell into the same trap with EBC probably about year 3, where I was so subconscious of my colleagues. Dougie Dew, Kai Blackman, Tim Fields, the list goes on and on and on. I was so subconscious of whether or not they would accept my soap line as is. And I was watching Facebook, the before and after pictures, and if they didn't mention the soap, what was I doing? I was sending a private message to them. Nice work on that. Oh, by the way, what did you use on it? Hoping and holding my breath that the 3 letters of EBC came back to me on a private message. So this is where the industry, for lack of a better term, as it relates to social media, has graduated to. And it has ruined relationships. It has put devices or vices between colleagues that have been friends and colleagues for years and years in the industry. My message to you is industry. Let's hit the pause button today. Step back, not once, not twice, and really ask yourself, why are you in business? We created a mess, folks. We all got sucked into something that we really weren't sure about, and it bit us in the ass. Excuse my language. And social media was part of that. They didn't create the problem, they just carried the message that exposed the problem and revealed certain things in this industry that caused a lot of us to walk away and scratch our head and say, how in the heck did that happen? I had faith, I had hope, I had wished, God, that this thing was cruising at 60,000 feet. But at the end of the day, my message is, with all the fluff, all the proclivities that are going on in the industry today, at the end of the day, it's up to you as a business owner to decide what you're going to do. We're cautious now. I'm a contractor first. I still wash. Even though I'm flying all over the world and doing things that I've never ever dreamt about, at the end of the day, you guys know me that know me. I'm out there on nightly working. But as a contractor, we're leery, we're cautious, and our trust factor has gone down many, many rungs on the ladder. Now, how does this affect you? All the stuff, all the chatter, all the internet stabbing. Gotcha. Right? I'm blocking. Boom. Tagging his name and dragging that person's name in the dirt. Throwing him under the bus. Blah, 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 blah. 800 comments to a simple question. Does a simple cherry really smell like cherry? Right? Well, we spend time on that. But how does this affect you as a business owner? Now, the flip side of all this stuff that I'm saying is that there is good quality information, solid advice from stand-up contractors that have no agenda. All they want to do is see you succeed. These are the people that you need to reach out to get that phone to ring. I met about five companies here in the last 24 hours that came up to me, they pulled me aside, they're ready to throw the towel in. They took their life savings, bought all this equipment, followed all the groups, did exactly what everybody said, all the Facebook ads, all this stuff that, you know, pay me now, do this, blah, 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 blah. And they're broke. The phone's not ringing. To me, as an industry, we failed. So as I hopscotch this keynote address, because as I said earlier, I had a vision, I had this hoorah, go get 'em, unicorns, pixie dust, rainbow type of picture that I wanted to paint for this industry and give you that attaboy, go get 'em Joe type of speech. And as I was talking to Paul on the phone months ago, when things just kind of caved in, I said to myself, no, I can't paint a pretty picture. I can't, in all honesty. But what I can tell you is that there are people in this industry that give a damn. That truly, truly, truly give a hoot about your success. Now, those individuals are scattered all over the U.S. Most of them are here.
Amen.
Willing to help. Willing to fire that engine up one last time and give it a go. But at the end of the day, as a contractor, as I learned, through the 18 years and 10 plus years that I've been on the national stage, that at the end of the day, it really boiled down to me and my decisions, because colleagues, friends will only go so far with you. When the rubber hits the road, you look over your shoulder, you're there by yourself. And the internet, the social media, when you look for your colleagues to help you out, they're nowhere to be seen. I'm sorry to paint a bad picture, but that's the reality. That is the state of the union, if you will, as I see it. And I hope some of the veterans here would agree with me that the picture that I'm painting is a true, accurate painting. We have a lot of work to do, ladies and gentlemen. Now, if there's another national organization out there that can step in and pick up the pieces and instill that hope, instill that trust in the contractor that works every night, in that contractor that all they want to do is earn an honest living. No time for agendas. No time for Jedi mind games. The true A to B, clean agenda, policies. If there's an organization out there that can do that, then I feel we have half a chance to, once again, get back on that jet plane and get to the altitude of where we're at. I take what has happened somewhat of a responsibility that, looking back, I question whether or not I should have even embarked in that direction and just stayed a contractor and not dabbled into the national stage, because it's a scary animal. Being up here speaking in front of you, coming up here today, I was very nervous because I knew the topics that I'm speaking on is probably going to raise eyebrows in the industry. But it needed to be said. We have a chance. There's always a chance. We have an opportunity, because opportunities always lie out there. It's up to us as contractors to decide which direction to go. These roundtables, these trainings can continue, or they can't, depending on you as the contractor. But what made me realize last night that it is needed was the companies, the people, the individuals that came up to me. And literally, one of them was almost in tears. He's broke. Totally broke. And I can only assume that he spent pretty much last of his money to get here to figure out what's wrong. Why isn't the phone ringing? So when I hear that kind of testimony or that kind of story from contractors throughout the United States, it tells me that we have much work to do, and we have not advanced the industry knowledge the way that I thought we have in the last 9 years. I think I can speak for everybody here that we just want to work. And We don't want to deal with the agendas anymore. We don't want to be involved in the hierarchy of what's going on in regards to this organization compared to that organization, to this organization and that, because that also is another section that gets really, really messy and diluted in agendas. And we as the contractor, we're the victims. All we want to do is wash. Tell me what you want us to do and we'll do it. So we as contractors, we as a group, we're out here in this cloud right now, like I said earlier, and we're kind of figuring out where our way is, Ray. Now, who's that individual or who's that organization that's going to fill that void or at least make a true attempt to do it? I thought I had it 9 years ago, God. I thought I created something or established something that had the horsepower to get us through this, and it didn't. So I apologize to the industry today for putting anybody through the ups and downs or the proclivities of what has happened over the last 3 months, even though I wasn't directly involved in it. And again, I'm saying things to the younger crowd that have no clue, and I apologize for that. But it's important because I see people in this industry that have been with me for a very long time that has helped the vision of the organization. And at the end of the day, they find out that it's not what it seemed to be. So tomorrow's a new day, and then the next day, and the next day. And if Tampa is any indication of what lies ahead, then I think we're moving the ship in the right direction. It may be slow. This isn't going to happen overnight, folks. This is a 2-3 year journey, a cruise, if you will. But if you're willing to stick it out and attach your name to individuals, and again, guys that know me, I don't swear, I really don't. But today I'm just, I don't know, maybe it's the coffee I just drank or whatever. You're going to be with people that really give a damn. And I'm going to be part of that as well. Not as someone that's instrumental in creating anything. I'm done with words. I'm done with creating things for the industry. I spent 3 years of my life and a little bit of money to create an org, and I did my time. But there are individuals that are standing by to try to put the pieces together for us. And truly, truly represent the pressure washing contractor. So take Tampa as a prelude of what we hope will happen down the road. So as what time is it? I don't want to. What time is it? What time?
Just keep talking.
I don't think either of us care.
Doesn't matter, I've got nothing.
Oh, okay. Good, we're on the schedule. Fine. I told you I'm not going to keep you long. As I close the keynote, and again, there's no earth-shattering, pixie dust thrown out to you guys, blessing you with my presence, the holy water and stuff like that. It's nothing like that. It's unfortunate that I deliver the way that I did because I think it needed to be said. There's individuals here that have already embarked into the direction of starting something. Now, wherever that goes, I don't know because I have no involvement in it whatsoever. But it's my prayer that before I die someday, God, I hope that one day I see the industry, the different orgs, whatever they are, the PWNA, the UAMCC, the PWRA, and any other organizations that may mushroom up or blossom up. My prayer is that one day we all can sit across each other at the table, not to agree on everything, because that's impossible, but to agree to disagree on certain subjects, but let's work together. Let's help the contractor. Let's figure out what is best for the contractor. Not for a particular org, not for a particular roundtable, not for a particular vendor, not for a particular training, but for all of us to agree to keep the contractor's needs in the forefront. That's my prayer. That's my prayer before I die. My legacy, if you want to call it that, is not about how many BBC offices I open up worldwide or anything like that. My legacy is that when people remember me, and I'm not saying I'm dying anytime soon, so you guys are going to be stuck with me for several more years, but this guy gave a damn about the contractor. And this is what I'm sensing here at Tampa. You know, I purposely go through and talk to individuals, and I feel that vibe again, Guy, that I had 9 years ago. I feel that resurrection. I don't know if you want to call it that or not, but it's a different vibe here than I've ever experienced, and it's a good thing. So in closing, I apologize for kind of dragging this subject out, but it's time that something was said publicly. And I know I'm being recorded live right now, and I'm sure there's people on Facebook right now looking at me and maybe unfriended me as we speak.
I'd say more friends.
It is what it is. How many do we have?
We had over 22 at one point. 22 plus.
22, okay. That's not bad.
There's probably been about 40
I get a
or
little
50.
nervous when it gets to 50 people. Then I was like, all right, that's
17
it.
thumbs
So,
up. No.
Let's enjoy our time here. Forget about orgs. Forget about orgs for the next 24 hours. We're here to network. We're here to talk about ideas. We're here to help each other. And it's not predicated on a membership. It's not predicated on how much Agent Clean you buy. It's not predicated on how much UBC you buy from me. It's not predicated about whether or not you bought the Spray Wash Academy sticker from Ray. It's not predicated on how many skids you purchased from Paul or anything like that. This is your show. Now the keynote I wish would have happened this morning to kind of launch into today, but it is what it is. So, God bless you. Keep a positive thought. Things are going to change, hopefully for the better in the near future. At the end of the day, it all boils down to you. Keep grinding away, those dumpster pads, those accounts that you're running, those things that you are doing to put money on your table. Keep that close to your vest. Don't get on Facebook and start, if you know what you're doing as a contractor, you're running crews, you're billing out $500,000, $1 million, $3 million a year, you're doing the thing, you're living the dream. Don't stop. Don't hit the pause button, because at the end of the day, you're the only one that's going to be left standing. I'm seeing a lot of nods, so at least the message is being conveyed. It's very humbling to say this. What I, said earlier today, very just odd for me. I'm more of the get her done type of, discussions that I like to have. But today's not one of those days, folks. I'm a little off center, under the weather, and in light of, what's going on in the industry, it needs to be said. So we got to pick up our bootstraps again, put our big boy pants on, and try to fix this. All right? Thank you. Wow, I didn't expect that at all. So we got, what a hell of a dinner we're going to tonight, right? Where's it at? Here at the hotel? Okay, great. So we're going to have fun later on, do some networking around the bar or whatever. Let's enjoy ourselves. Tomorrow's another day. We got a lot of great training going on tomorrow. Some more deals going on with the stuff. Enjoy your evening. Thank you.